Welcome back, friends. We got another one for you today. This is with my training partner, Ken. Ken is a brand new blue belt. He just got promoted recently. Congratulations, Ken. I start the round by pulling guard, and immediately Ken is looking to pass. Admittedly, my guard is quite lazy at the moment. It was very hot in the gym today. If you think hot yoga is hard, try hot jiu-jitsu. Ken likes to work a little bit of outside passing, and then when he gets into half guard, he likes to work a little bit of crazy dog. So let's see what Ken goes for. I'm doing my best to start framing him because I don't want him to get close to me and start to smash my half guard. What I really should be doing is I should break the collar grip and I should frame his shoulder and his wrist to keep him away from me. But instead I allow him to hold on to that grip and he starts to walk closer to my head. He then starts to try and push my knee down, looking to enter a knee slide, and he eventually decides to stand up. Ken starts to enter into his knee slide, but I don't allow him to have the underhook. Stopping him from having the underhook allows me to prevent the pass. And now in half guard, I'm waiting for my opportunity to wrestle up. Now Ken knows that in order to pass from here, he needs to get the underhook. So he starts to do a bit of hand fighting. He's doing his best to get the underhook while I tuck my elbow and make it really difficult for him to do so. I'm not doing the best job of framing in this position, and I really should be more offensive. The longer I wait here, the more opportunity Ken has to dig for that underhook and make it more uncomfortable for me. But I am able to eventually secure my underhook, grabbing his near side leg. My bottom hand is now reaching for his outside foot, but Ken does a really good job of stepping out. So instead, I get my underhook deeper on his back, and I start to get up onto my two knees, and I use that to sweep. I always immediately try to turn that sweep into a pass, and as Ken tries to prevent me from going to side control, I see the opportunity to step over his two legs, squeeze them together, and start climbing into the mount. I take my time climbing the mount, trying to maintain that position as securely as possible. So I'm trying to stay low, squeeze, put pressure, and just slowly walk all the way over into mount. Meanwhile, Ken's trying to frame my hips. He's doing his best to bridge, so I opt to grapevine so that I can keep him there for a second. I insert my crossface, and then I start thinking about what submission I'm going to be looking for. With my crossface in, I'm thinking about underhooking that arm, spider walking up, and then looking to go for a katagatame. So I start to find the elbow, I look to spider walk up, all the while trying to keep that crossface really heavy. In the meantime, Ken goes to defend, so I decide to slide my knee up, and now I've lost the position for the katagatame. Ken starts to bridge from here. I settle my position, and then I make a cross-collar grip. The cross-collar grip was to force him to react. I end up trying to enter into an S mount. That doesn't really work out, and so I think about going for a gift wrap. I'm trying to force Ken to stay on his side, but he's doing a really good job of coming back. I see the opportunity to start spider walking the other arm, and I look to go for a katagatame on this side. To finish this katagatame, I shoot my arm all the way through, and I like to go for a rear naked choke grip. So I try and grab my own bicep, I put my hand on his forehead, I start to squeeze, and then I'm able to get the tap. And now we look to reset, getting right back into the round. I immediately look to make my grips and pull guard, and Ken's back into passing. He starts to circle around, looking for his opportunity to pass. And at first I opt for this more supine guard, but as he starts to control my legs, I decide to sit up. For my sit-up guard here, my goal is to get into the legs and go for half guard or reverse de la Riva. Ken makes his grip first, and he looks to step right into his pass. I take the opportunity to grab his leg and enter into this reverse de la Riva half guard position. I have my underhook on the leg already, so I'm looking for the opportunity to start wrestling up. I'm looking to go for the very same sweep as I did last time, so I start to get up on my knees, and initially I think Ken's gonna step back. But when he postures up, I take the opportunity to start grabbing his legs, I go for the sweep, and I immediately look to pass. I'm able to pass pretty cleanly right off the sweep, and I settle into my side control here, waiting for the right opportunity to pull my arm out. As Ken opens up his legs, I'm able to slide my arm out, and then I enter into side control. Ken on bottom here has his figure 4 and he has his frames in. He's looking for the right opportunity to start bridging and escaping. Meanwhile, I'm trying to keep a crossface on him. His frames are doing a really good job of keeping me from dropping all my weight on him, and he's able to clear that crossface off of him. With my hand over his head, I look to isolate his arm, and now I'm thinking about going for a key lock. I start to use my chin to drive his wrist to the mat, and then I grab his wrist, grab my own wrist, and I look to finish the key lock. I slowly lift the elbow, and I get the tap. We look to reset for the last time, and I'm looking for the same stuff, so I pull guard, and I look for my opportunity to enter into the legs. I pretty passively look to enter into the legs, so I sit back, put my hook in, and Ken takes advantage of this passivity, looking to enter right into his over-under passing. Realizing I might be in trouble here, I start to use my leg to frame a little bit as I try and grab a Kimura on the other side. Now that I have my Kimura, I'm looking to go for a little bit of a choi bar entry. To do that, I need to throw my leg over his head and enter into arm saddle. But Ken's doing a really good job of keeping his head really tight to my hip and making it difficult for me to throw that leg over. I opt to try to invert under him a little bit, and I use that angle to try and throw my leg all the way over. Seeing that I'm really high on his head, I start to think about taking his back. I really need to get my hips closer to his hips and then insert my second hook. So at first I start to threaten that armbar, and then I opt instead to start climbing back towards his hips. I start to sit back to finish the back take, and then I immediately look for my bow and arrow. And time runs out. Thank you guys so much for watching. Please like, comment, and subscribe. Thank you so much to Ken for allowing me to film, and thank you so much to Coach Caitlin for filming. I'll see you in the next one. Bye!